you think of the hit Neal gave to
to back
Orpik?
Brooks
The
Orpik,
back, yeah.
Actually, there's two hits I want to talk about. There's that one and then the Tom Wilson hit.
In game one.
Yes. So let's start. I'll start with your hit since you brought it up, and it's more recent. Well, James Neal.
Like concussion-wise, I feel like Orpik, because I don't think he came back.
No, he came back.
He came back later, but
No.
he said, I remember Doc saying specifically, like, this is his first shift since his injury. Or someone saying that.
Really?
Yeah.
That's interesting.
But even though he was just on that bench, so you'd think, why don't you just go to the quiet room?
They didn't.
No, it doesn't make sense. But it's something that happens in sports where the game's on the line, you're just going to be a little dinged up. So they're not going to take it that serious. So mad.
I know it's sound like a finals and everything, but Brooks Orpik clearly got
he
concussed
did.
on that play.
You could tell when he tried getting up and then went back down. He was clearly concussed.
Oh, exactly. Here's the thing, though. Concussion spotters right in there should have taken him out of the game. This is why I absolutely despise the NHL Department of Player Safety right now and have for years. They need to change up their formats. I was talking to a friend of mine because we were talking about the Tom Wilson hit, and sure, it wasn't nearly as bad.
I saw your tweets about it, so I felt like I should bring it up.
Yes, thank you.
Because I felt like getting Jeff riled up for a little bit.
Thank you. Yeah, appreciate that. So, but here's the thing. Neal left his feet. Sure, it was like a back check. Like, literally,
I still think it was a clean hit, but it was
a clean hit. But the only part that was if it was not clean was that he left his feet.
Yeah.
But it's hard to say because it was a backwards hit. You know. But for the NHL,
and also Orpik was going for the hit too. But
right.
Then he
so
got the worst of it.
It was more incidental contact.
Yeah.
I guess.
But it was more of him because he got hurt, and the Capitals didn't really do anything about it.
But which is annoying because I think that the NHL they need to. And here's what I told my friend.
And that's why I brought up Orpik because they were talking about the injuries. I'm like, is Orpik playing?
Yeah, right.
Because like I'm pretty sure he has a concussion, but he's probably still gonna play today.
Yeah, because I don't think the NHL really cares enough about their players' health or safety, and it's really sad because this is how
the season maybe, but at that point the team's not really gonna care that much. They'll take the fine if there's a fine.
You see, and that's what I hate the most. The fines are a joke. Literally, a $10,000 fine for those guys is a nickel for us. It's like, here you go, need a nickel? There you go. I don't care. Because my friend asked me, what would you change? I said, a good amount. All checks to the head will be a large fine, not this couple $100,000, BS. If the player...
Would you start it off as the significant of the head injury or like the significant of the hit?
I would honestly both.
Like even if it was like obviously like accidental, you can't really do anything about that.
All right, that's
like the
fair.
Pronger thing, like he got his post concussion getting a stick up in the head.
Because that was a follow through shot by Mikhail Grabovski. Like sure, there's nothing you can do about that, but like that's a good point. I'm glad you brought that up because if it's just like a little accidental bump, that's one thing. But like if it's a clear hit to the head.
Or clear hit into the boards where it's like head first or something.
Exactly. If it's something like that, that should be a large fine depending on the severity. I also said if the player is injured, then a fine of at least $1 million or more.
Yeah.
Regardless, it should. I think all fines should at least start at $1 million.
Or even if you do think that if you make the fine high enough, you would think people would then
tone it down
a little. But even though at that same time you can't really in the moment sort of thing either.
Right. Well, no, I know, but still, like, because look at players like Matt Cook. Like,
but players like that in the NHL are going down.
Exactly. Well, thankfully, because
I can't really name much outside of Ryan Reeves, and
Tom Wilson.
Yeah, I'm sure there's more out there. But
there's not as many. But thankfully, there's less and less players like that because
there's
nowadays
not as many
in the
goons.
NHL,
I mean, Ronaldo's still playing, but what's Ronaldo doing now?
Yeah. Nowadays, the NHL requires players, but in my opinion, they require players. You need to have skill and speed. You can't just rely on your fists, or your checking. Sure, it helps.
Like even Gudis toned it down.
He did. I gotta give him a lot of credit.
after season interview, he was saying he was trying to like tone it down because they were asking him about like all the hits he would give, and after suspension, he tried toning it down a little.
Which is good though. But you're not the same player. Mm-hmm. But I said second, if you're suspended once, make it between 1 to 5 games depending on the severity of the incident. Second offense, automatically increase the suspension to more games, include a fine. And again, I think the fine should start at $1 million to $2 million fines. If they want to make these fines hurt, make it hurt. Give them $5 million fines, $10 million fines. Like depending, like literally, if it's like the Matt Cook hit against Mark Savard, if things were
Eric Lindros,
Eric Lindros. Well, that's a little bit.
That's different, but still.
No, I know what you mean. But so that's
I don't
what I'm
like
saying.
John Stevens. Okay.
No, he does. So that's what I was saying with the Matt Cook hit on Mark Savard. That should.
But Matt Cook was a known asshole. He literally cut someone's Achilles heel.
Oh, no, I know.
He's an asshole. He's a known asshole.
He was, I think that's a $3 to $5 million hit.
Yeah.
Right there. Maybe more. Mm-hmm. Actually, more because he ended Mark Savard's career with that. So, but, if it's like a regular.
And that's the thing why you want to make more rules about this, more penalty or like
more suspensions, more fines. But here's the other thing: is the NHL is in complete denial about any connections between hockey and concussions, just like with the NFL was years ago. The only reason
they still are a little, They still are a little.
No, they still are a little. They at least admitted there's some connection, but they're still not as bad.
But the NFL already has a bunch of other shit that they've got to go.
Oh,
through
I know. I also said increase the concussion protocol if they have a concussion, they're required to sit out for at least 1 to 2 weeks, no exception. Increase the protocol at the arena. Have 3 experts, maybe 3 to 5 experts, along with several EMTs and other medical workers. That way they know what to do when the time comes in case there's a hit like that. And it's embarrassing because the NHL, like literally, I see all the time, former NHL players, like Dan Carcillo, he tweets out a lot about the NHL not doing enough, and you see all sorts of cases about.
And you see stuff like even if it's accidental, Pronger never played again after that.
Exactly. Sure, he's had other concussions, but that was the final. That was
the final one.
Play, yeah.
Because he still has problems with his eye because it literally went to his eye.
Yeah. So I think just overall, the NHL Department of Player Safety, they need a considerable amount of changes. They named, I think it was George Pears. I think his job was like the head of.
Didn't you start a thing about concussions too?
Yeah. I started a GoFundMe page about just for concussion research, just because I wanted do my fair share because I've had a couple of concussions in the past, and sure they weren't from hockey, but I know the physical pain and hell you basically go through, and the fact that these guys they get a concussion and next thing you know they're already out skating not even a week later, and not even just skating but
or even a couple
playing.
Minutes later, like
exactly
Orpik
a couple
was.
minutes later, like Orpik. There's something seriously wrong with that, and I just want to do my fair share and do my part in helping out figure out what to do just to help out and help not even necessarily heal concussions, but just do more research on how it all triggers them and and everything like that. So, but no, it's just overall I think the NHL Department of Player Safety, they need to do make it a considerable amount of changes. People in the NHLPA need to go. Either, cause Gary Bettman needs to go. A lot of people need to leave this league right now.
Like I know the thing with the NFL, it's like, oh, you're getting rid of these hits that everyone liked so much, but in the NHL, they lost the hits, but it's still just as fun to watch.
It is.
It's like fast paced now. It's
like literally,
it's still fun.
Perfect example.
Let's just look at the series. It's back and forth.
My dad was watching the 1980 All-Star Game on NHL Network while in between watching that and Game 2 of the Stanley Cup Finals, and he's going back and forth, and he was telling me, he's like, it's crazy watching like how he used to think back in the day, how fast that was.
Yeah,
and you go back to today's game, and it's lightning quick. It is.
Like, wasn't it McDavid who won the fastest skater competition or whatever?
Oh, here's some other. This is also what I was going to talk about because we talking about the Tom Wilson hit a little bit more about this. because Mike Rupp, he's an analyst on NHL Network. He really ticked me off with this comment. And unless I misheard him, but I don't think I did. Tom Wilson, they had they counted basically almost 7.8 seconds or so after Marshall Salt got rid of the puck. That's when Wilson hit him, and Rupp's like, "Oh, it's a fine hit." He's like, honestly, he's like right there for it being a bad hit, but I think once it gets to 8 seconds, then you're good. I'm like, 8 seconds, literally. That's.
I think it was hit wise. I think it was clean, but for the timing, it definitely should have been a penalty.
Well, it was a penalty, but I think it could have been more because
it should have been probably.
I mean, you can argue yes and no, but because hit wise,
would you to go on this? Would you do double minors like you do for high sticking, but with head injuries?
I actually like that idea. I never thought about
I know
that before.
They usually do the game misconduct if it's bad enough.
Yeah,
but if it's something like that,
I think.
Would you think a double minor sort of thing?
I think they should consider a double minor. Yeah,
for concussion hits and
I like
big
that
hits
idea.
Like that.
But yeah, and the thing is that any hit after the player gets rid of the puck, ain't not even 4 seconds after he gets rid of the puck, that's a dirty hit. The
puck was already at the
exactly.
He was in the center.
By
the puck
the time
was in the.
It's 8 seconds. McDavid can skate around the entire rink almost twice.
Yeah.
So you're telling me that in 8 seconds after I get rid of the puck,
I get not even that time. In 2 seconds you could score. And 8
exactly. And I could get hit 8 seconds after I get rid of the puck. That's clean. Okay, Rob, I see how it is.
In 8 seconds they can go down to the one side and then go back.
The only reason why I think Rob is so supportive of it is because he's like Wilson. He's a former goon.
Yeah, he's a former goon. So he's
exactly.
Yeah.
So of course he's gonna be supportive of that. And it really irks me just because. There's no need. It's completely an unnecessary hit. It's a stupid penalty to take.